Monday morning, a city still cloaked in darkness, with a mood to match. The hope may be that instinct will just kick in, that the start of the week routine will be just that, routine. But Friday night is still just too fresh, too raw. Emotions are running high, he says, but life will pick up again. It has to. We need it. But Abu Drabe's grocery sits at the corner of grief and shock. Friday's cruel, random gunfire left 3 people dead by this restaurant. Many more were wounded over by that one. The bakery across the street sprayed with rifle fire too, dangerously, indiscriminately. Meziani Ahmed hasn't slept since. I thought it was kids playing with firecrackers, he says. It was only after that I realized that 5 bullets had hit my bakery. He was fortunate, untouched and alone behind the counter at the back of the store. But there were victims just outside his door, bleeding, dying. We can't ever forget this, he tells us, not for the rest of our lives. In fact, it's a moment, literally, frozen in time. Just look at his clock, the time, 9:31, the exact moment terror was unleashed. When the bullet struck, the clock stopped, the second hand forever destined now to stutter in some kind of awkward attempt to move forward. Just like the city, perhaps. Normalcy can come back, Ahmed says, but not for all of us. We've lived something we just can't understand. The challenge of normalcy, how to get back to it when everything has changed. And not just at the city's tragic new landmarks, but the old iconic ones too. While the city promised that museums, monuments, and other cultural sites would reopen today, the situation wasn't so clear this morning at the Eiffel Tower. Employees hadn't decided yet whether it was appropriate and safe to return.
You can see here, we are Monday morning, it's 9:20. We're supposed to open in 10 minutes. There is no one. There is nobody, no line. So
Amal El-Bouchari was just heading into a meeting to discuss the issue when we asked her whether on this particular Monday it could really be business as usual.
No, it's different. Now it's completely different. I don't know what's going on, what's going to happen next week or next days, but we just want to, now for the moment, we just want to try to be safe and try to think what can we do here in the Eiffel Tower to secure everybody.
And so the gates stood empty, security stood by, and the tourists waited. By late afternoon, things got back to normal. Well, the new normal, anyway. It's a tough call, what to do exactly, in those moments and in those days right after such a massive trauma. And almost nowhere is the responsibility greater than at Paris City Hall. Today, as the city took its moment to collectively grieve, city workers came together too, gathered inside the grand Salle des Fêtes to pause for the victims of Friday's terror attacks. Somewhere in that somber and stoic crowd, the Deputy Mayor of Paris, Patrick Klugman.
Deputy Mayor, when you were standing there during that minute silence, what's going through your mind?
Well, we think about all we know, all the missing persons. You know, we were hit deeply in the heart of the city. People there, they were our brothers, our friends, sons of our friends. So it's terrible. It's a place we know, it's restaurants we go to, it's concert hall where we used to spend some time. So it's just unbelievable to think at all those places which are really familiar and pleasant places, and to think that it's been struck by an act of war.
Second time this year.
Yeah.
How does Paris possibly return to some sense of normalcy?
Well, it's the sense of everything. It's the strength of the city. We've been hit. Now we are mourning until tomorrow. but will prevail.
But it must challenge you at times
Of
to
course,
remain
it's-
confident that you can come back.
Well, we cannot afford anything else than to be confident and strong. Also, we understand, including among the population, the fear, the worries, but we have to, our values are our weapon, our best weapon. And the solidarity we receive from all over the world gives us so much force. And I would like to say from Canada specifically, there was a march, a huge march in Montreal, but even yesterday I participated via telephone to a meeting with our friends in the small city Kitchener. There were so many people there, and really we can feel this brotherhood, and it's so important to us. So I would like to thank you for that.
But how do you send the signal that your city, one of the great cities of the world, is safe?
Well, the city is safe, army is everywhere, intelligence is working, policemen are patrolling, the security has been reinforced at the railroad station, airports, borders were not closed but much more controlled. So the city is safe. That doesn't mean that it will not happen again, but everything is made to avoid it and to protect the city population and the tourists.
I'm sure you haven't had much sleep in the last 4 days.
It's true.
When you're trying to sleep, what do you worry about?
My children and their future, like everyone else. But when I wake up, I'm confident because I can see a lot of strength, of sense of responsibility here at the government level and also among the population.
One more stop today to check the pulse of the people. And to no great surprise, we found it in the words of visitors. After all, beautiful, historic Paris may belong to Parisians, but it belongs to the world too, and the world has felt the sorrow of the past days as well. And so a chance encounter with Ewan and Zorawar from Vancouver, who were eager to share with us what they had witnessed just hours earlier.
Did everybody stop?
Yeah, everybody stopped the car and they just holding hand, they just running to each other right at 12 o'clock at noon, and they holding hand, and some people cry a lot. I feel like people are very vulnerable, but they also very strong. They holding hand and they willing to stand up to get over this. But very sad, very emotional when I was there, when I saw that.
France will recover. It always has. It lost more than 1 million lives, a generation lost in the First World War. It lived through the Nazis in the Second, Algerian terrorists in the 60s, the Charlie Hebdo and the kosher supermarket attacks in January. And it will survive this. It will take time, but it will survive.